You're listening to KFWB News Talk 980. My name is Les Brown. I'm Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy, and we welcome you to the show. We come this way Monday through Friday from 2 o'clock until 4 o'clock, and we thank you for joining us. This is a program that's focused on positivity. Yes, indeed. In fact, it's good for your health. It's good for your mind. It's good for your spirit. It's good for your attitude. Every day you listen, you will find yourself growing. You'll see yourself differently, and you'll hear a different voice in your mind. So thank you so much for joining us. You know, we have a topic today that I know a lot of people are going to chime in on this. Absolutely. It's a topic that challenges all of us to begin to think. There's a new book that's coming out, and we welcome your calls on this book. It's called Manning Up: How the Rise of Women Has Turned Men into Boys. It's by K. Heimowitz. Whoa. Okay, let me say the title again. Manning Up: How the Rise of Women Has Turned Men into Boys. Not long ago, she goes on to say, the average American man in his 20s had achieved most of the milestones of adulthood: a high school diploma, financial independence, marriage, and children. Today, most men in their 20s hang out in a novel sort of limbo somewhere between adolescence and adulthood. And legions of frustrated young women feel that this state of pre-adulthood doesn't bring out the best in men. And she goes on to say, between men's lack of abilities or responsibilities and entertainment media devoted to men's very pleasures, that young men today have no reason to grow up. She goes on to say that this book was written to bring attention to that. Women now outpace their male peers in getting through college and thus have better employment prospects. The percentage of those of both sexes who marry in their 20s has declined dramatically from 70% in 1970, less than 33% today. What also makes pre-adulthood something new is its radical reversal of the sexual hierarchy. Among pre-adult women, women are the first sex. Listen to this. Among pre-adults, women are the first sex. They graduate from college in greater numbers than men. From ages 25 to 34, 34% of women now have a bachelor's degree compared to 27% of men. And they have higher GPAs. As most professors tell it, they also have more confidence and drive. Wow. Now, before we get into this, I'd like to find out from women first. Before we get into this, I'd like to ask women, do you find that you have more going for you than the guys that you're running into? It's been said that more women have more businesses and are set up financially. They are set and squared away and have all their ducks lined up in a row, and that men, for the most part, don't. Wow. So I'd like to hear from you. 888 KFWB 980. Like to hear from you. Do you find that to be the case? Like to hear your take on what has been written here, but I'd like particularly to hear from the ladies and see, are you finding this to be the situation? I was talking to a friend today, and she said her girlfriend said to her that when her husband comes home, she's going to ask him to get an apartment. And I said, why? She said she just can't take it anymore. She said he just spends most of his time watching television, playing video games, and he's working on a job. He knows he's not making enough money. They're behind in their bills. They're stressed out, and he just seems so blasé and casual about it. She's working hard. She's hustling and doing everything she can to make ends meet, but he doesn't have the same sense of responsibility and urgency and drive that she has. And this is not uncommon. Studies indicate that more women have more confidence and more of an entrepreneurial spirit than men today. Something has happened. I want to know, is this, first of all, let's find out, are these studies on point? I'd like to find out from the ladies listening. I'd like for you to call and just share with us what it is that you see, what has your experience been, and do you agree with this study? Because there's some people that will take exception with this. I'm sure there's some men that will take exception to this study. The number to call is 888 KFWB. And you know what, 980. And when I was thinking about something else, I was thinking about that the question becomes: has roles changed to that degree? I remember coming up, my mother said a man's job is to provide and protect. Has that changed? Because there are more women who are providing, more women who are the breadwinners, and more women who are taking care of the business, taking care of the household, and taking care of the financial responsibilities. Has that changed? Like to know from you. I know that this is something that creates a conversation not only for men but women, and it's not about being post on either side, but what is the real deal on this? What is the reality around this? Because when you look at the statistics and looking at this particular article, the question, one of the crucial questions to ask, that if you are a woman, how is the new pre-adult male affecting your choices when it comes to choosing a man, a career, or family? And if you're a man, how do you see your role in the 21st century? Do you feel compelled to have a family, a degree, a career, or fight your way to the top? Gentleman said something, and this quote it might be in alignment with what we're talking about today. He said, "Everyone I know is depressed for not being in a relationship, or they are miserable because of the one they're in." Whoa. So I want to know. My name is Les Brown. I'm Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from the men, and I want to hear from the women. I want you to call, and I want to hear your story. Kay Hypowitz, maybe she's on to something, and I love the cover of this book. Whoa, Manning Up, How the Rise of Women Has Turned Men into Boys. I want you to call and share your story, and as you do that, I want you to do this. I want to hear from the women to give your perspective. What are you seeing? What are you running into? And do you agree with this, or do you disagree? And I want to hear from the men. How do you feel about this, and how women are seeing us? But the statistics, they speak for themselves. When you look at the statistics that say that more women are graduating from college than men, and they have higher GPAs and have more confidence and more drive, and they're the number one entrepreneurs in the economy right now and creating more jobs. Those statistics, they speak for themselves. So we need you to call and share your story. My name is Les Brown. I'm Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. Here's a quote. The quote for today, the one that I think that has some meaning and value for you, that when things go wrong, don't go with them. We'll be right back.